Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. From their innovative ceramic materials to sexy automatic divers, from ultra-thin dress watches to solar-powered statement pieces, and everything in between, Movement is making sure you're the good gifter this year for your family, your friends, or for yourself. And now you can take advantage of 30 to 50% off Movement's California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories to get them a gift they'll never forget. With fast, free shipping and returns and amazing bang for your buck, Movement makes for a relaxed shopping experience. And with one-size-fits-all watches, it's an easy, elegant gifting experience too. Shop 30 to 50% off now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.
What up, bitches? I'm pregnant.
Mic drop.
So, yeah, we're popping this at the front of an episode because we record in advance, as you guys know, and the news has been out for a couple weeks now, and we have not acknowledged it on the podcast.
The news broke.
So,
Well, the truth of the matter is,
Yeah.
I feel like
Let's get to the brass tacks of it all.
well, I wasn't going to call him out.
I wasn't going to do that either. I was going to say that we've been talking about
I
this
lost an episode. All right,
since
Okay.
November.
Adam
I
lost his
lost
SD
it.
drive or whatever they're called, and then we have another lost episode. We have the macrame YouTube video, and now we have the micro SD.
It's in the abyss.
The anxiety from you just mentioning the macrame video.
Well, Nicole deleted the last files from that, so it literally
gone.
could never, ever, 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 ever happen.
No,
Yeah.
that's not true because I downloaded them all onto my computer.
Adam, delete them.
So what are you waiting for? You're playing with fire.
I deleted mine like 6 months ago.
Yeah, okay. Truth be told, I was literally 2 seconds away from checking every bit of cat poop because I'm pretty sure one of the cats ate the SD card. It was a micro SD card, so it's like the size of
A nail.
a pomegranate
Pinky
seed.
nail.
Yeah,
They're so small.
Yeah, and one of the cats here just loves to eat anything and everything, including weed gummies and flour, like all of the things. Anyway, I was certain that one of the cats ate it, so I was very close to going through the litter box, and I didn't.
And we said, hey, please, it's not that deep. We don't need to.
I went through the garbage can, every piece of garbage in the garbage can, and separated it out because I was like, what if I accidentally threw it away? It was juicy and gross.
It's so small, you're never going to find. It's like needle in a haystack at
And then
that
one of the
point.
cats
Truly.
puked, and I was like, oh, this is a good sign because, sometimes animals, when they can't digest something, they puke it up.
Yeah.
But at that point, it would have been lost anyway because the stomach acid.
You never know. But anyway, sorry, TMI, but when cats puke, there's like fur clumps.
Yes.
And I was like squeezing through the
Hairballs.
full fur clumps to like feel if there was like a hard plastic thing in there.
You really did it, didn't you?
I did. And we didn't find
really
it. So
did it.
we had
really
a
did it.
nice long catch up on Becca's pregnancy, but that's the story. Sorry, that took too long. But Becca's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
And we're ecstatic.
We're
Like
ecstatic.
literally.
Today, I'm 24 weeks, so that is exciting.
Oh.
I feel like 24 weeks is like a big week. It's viable. We got viability week. I was
boom.
really wanting to wait, like maybe even until May to share the news, but then I'm really showings and it's my life is online. It's hard. So people have done it, but I am not them.
You went from like not really showing to, yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You popped.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, I did pop. I did. Which is a funny thing because, for a while, I just looked bloated, and I have looked bloated like that after almost every meal I've ever eaten. You know what I mean? Like it didn't,
Yeah.
It just looked like I constantly had a full meal in my belly.
Yeah, because when we were in San Diego, when we took those few pictures at the end, because when we were together, we were like, well, we have a professional photographer, might as well take some professional pictures so we can post it on our page, which is what you saw a few weeks ago. But I just remember you putting your hands in your belly. I'm like, oh, sweetie, you gotta push it out. Do a little bit better than that. You look like you just ate a little burger.
Yeah. Push it a little bit.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, and now I don't even have to do that. Like, I just got back from Jamaica, and as I was walking around, like, I was like, do you think people know I'm pregnant? And they're like, yes, you definitely look pregnant. Like, the belly does not match the rest. So I think people are going to assume that you're pregnant. I'm like, okay, cool. So
Cool.
Yeah, but that's the announcement. We just want to acknowledge it, so there's not like a I don't know, elephant in the room, or I don't know, a baby in the room that we haven't looked at.
Later in this episode, since I just edited it, we talk about how Becca's making a baby, and like that's the only thing we said about it. But when we really talked a lot about it. So,
we did,
you know.
yeah. And patrons, you will have some extra baby content because we've been recording catch-ups, like asking Becca about the baby before we actually recorded for the actual podcast, but we've been recording it all.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go through that.
It's going to be a full baby episode. So if you want to hear that, go head over to Patreon.
Yeah, and I think we must have started like around maybe 8 weeks or something. We started really early.
Yeah, we did.
And we recorded those up until I got my anatomy scan, finding out the sex of the baby. So that was a lot of stuff, a lot of vulnerable moments, a lot of Adam and Nicole being very good friends and being so supportive because the beginning of my pregnancy was really hard. It sucked. Like, pregnancy was not this beautiful thing that everyone says it is in that moment. Yeah. I'm doing better now, though.
HHG, what was it? HGTV?
Yeah. HGTV, I got put on the show. Hyperemesis gravidarum, something like that. It was brought up at an appointment, so it was hard. I had morning sickness beyond the normal scope, and got through it though. I still have my days, but I really clung to my nausea medication, and it got me through. So,
what a trooper,
doing the work.
I just remember like our first scans that we had, I was so sick, and I'm like, how is that baby still alive? Like, how is that thing growing? Because I am withering away. I looked gaunt. Like, I looked bad.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I never looked at you and said, she looks bad. Like, there's never been a moment. Tired, maybe, but not bad.
Definitely tired. Yeah.
You did look a little bit like when Bella was pregnant with Renesmee.
I was in my Bella pregnancy era. It was honestly very remnant of that. Like,
little peaked.
I was not doing good. My under eyes were like sagged in. Like, I did look a little skeletal. Just because it was taking everything out of me, and I wasn't able to give myself a lot back.
Literally.
Yeah. But, aside from all of that, I have a beautiful, healthy baby girl growing inside of my stomach. And
yay!
I could not be happier. I really am so happy. And I did a Q&A on my vlog channel. I answered a lot of fun questions like, my parenting philosophy, which I don't know. I feel silly even answering that because that's going to change and evolve, but what it was like finding out, Daniel's reaction, just things like that. Like, a lot of people were asking if I'm going to show the baby, so I addressed all of that kind of stuff and more.
And you made a cute dress. You made a cute little baby dress,
and I made a cute baby dress along the way, which was so fun.
Yes.
Yay. So go check that out. It's on Becca or De La Creations or Becca De La Creations.
Becca De La Creations on YouTube.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But that's the news. So hope that you guys are excited. Well, I know you guys are excited, and thank you for being excited. And let's freaking do this episode.
All right, let's get into it.
Also, friends, the beginning of this episode is a little bit off because Nicole's microphone was not the source for the audio. Her MacBook was. So bear with for just a little bit. We recognize it somewhere in the episode and correct it.
It's like 10 minutes in. I want to say less than 10 minutes in.
So just, grin and bear it. Bear down. We'll get back to your regularly scheduled program.
Bear down.
All right, let's go.
Sorry, guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Becca, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Adam and Nicole.
Hello.
You just sounded like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello. Oh, that was on the other day. I can never not watch it if it's on TV. It's just like one of the greatest.
What a beautiful man. R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
Truly. I was watching. Wait, I'm forgetting his name.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. I was actually watching a Robin Williams movie, and as I was watching it, I was like scrolling, and on Twitter, I think, and I saw like the announcement that Robin Williams had died. As I was watching a Robin Williams movie, it was so weird.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, it was RV. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. Wait, are you a Twitter scroller, like, often?
Not anymore, no.
Oh.
But Twitter, like, was my big social media.
Really?
Was it?
Like, in high school, in a little bit in college. Like, I really liked it, yeah.
See, this is why this is where I feel like I'm too old for this kind of stuff, because I have never really gotten Twitter, like understood it, but it does feel, the other day I was like, Twitter feels to me like reading the comments of TikToks, and that's what you love to do. You love that.
Yes.
And I forget to do that. But when I do that, I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, people are funny.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, oh, this must be what Twitter's like, and kind of Reddit too, because I've never really gotten on the Reddit train either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reddit, to me, I was on the Reddit train for a little bit. Reddit is more like resourcefulness. Like, I don't know, if I'm like looking into a product, I'll like type in the product and then Reddit. And then you have all these people who are like reviewing things, just normal people. That's how I use Reddit. But no, Twitter was like huge when I was in high school. So yes, the TikTok comments do feel very similar to Twitter. And I'm just still so shocked that you guys don't open the comments. And you know what? I feel like a lot of you have been. Okay. I feel like for me, it's become this thing where like the video is only 2 minutes long, if that. And I can't wait until the end to find out what happens. So I read the comments and spoil it for myself. So my already small attention span has only gotten smaller. It's just really, I think it's actually kind of unhealthy. But I noticed myself doing that lately.
Attention spans are scary, how we've been trained.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess I should know that the comments matter, because like I made a random comment on a TikTok like 6 months ago, and it still gets likes and tractions, because it was this TikTok of this like guy getting his chest waxed, this waxing account, because for some reason I found myself on like waxing TikTok like a year ago. This guy was getting his like chest waxed, and then she like the whole video was showing the whole thing except it ended, and she like the one last piece was just there, like in the middle of the chest, one last like chunk of hair, and then the video ended, and I just wrote a comment, am I mad that I watched this entire thing and you left that last bit? Yes. And that comment still gets like likes to this day. So I'm like, well, I guess that should have been my
edging.
Telltale. She really did.
That is funny. Yeah, the comments are like huge. Sometimes the comments have more likes than the video. Like, it's just insane. Yeah, anytime a video on TikTok kind of pops off, I just have learned to disconnect from it, because it's not even for me anymore. Like, the comments are just, people are just talking. It's like commentary. You know what I mean? It's like not even me.
Oh shit. It's got 10.6 thousand likes.
Your comment?
Yes. Wow.
That's over 10,000 people. Or in that comment section.
I'm going to send. Yeah, they went there to be like, I wanted to say this exact same thing. I'll send you the TikTok. You don't have to watch it right now. Anyway. I need to start reading comments. I did read a comment recently because there was a video of a magician on a cruise ship who was performing with somebody from the audience. It was a woman, and it looked like they each had like a card, like a playing card.
Shit.
What?
My fucking mic wasn't plugged in.
Jesus Christ, Nicole.
I'm fucking
Get your
everything
shit
up.
together. Well, you may notice a difference in the sound because Nicole plugged her mic in.
Well, because I looked at my sound bar, and I'm like, why is it so low? And so I turned it up a little bit.
You also did a test. Like you did a test.
I did a test, but it sounded low. And I was like, why does it sound low? Let me turn it up instead of let me plug it in. Anyway.
Okay. Well, have fun editing. Have fun editing that.
Yeah. Fuck my life.
It should be fine. But this magician had like a woman on stage, and they each had like a playing card in their hands, and it was like, a show. Like it's a cruise ship show. It's cheesy. And they were sitting on the edge of the stage, like holding arms, and then he slowly is like turning into like basically kiss, but they're just touching the cards because they were in each other's mouths. And then I think the trick was that the cards were going to switch. And then so she would have his card in her mouth kind of thing but like, magician stuff. Well, in the middle of this, a man runs up and attacks him on stage, just like pushes him and knocks him down. Apparently it was the man. I'm guessing it was the partner of the female that was being a participant on the stage. So I did go to the comment section of that TikTok, and it did not pass the vibe check because there was a lot of men in there. Like, if you aren't doing this, if that was your woman, then you don't respect your wife or you don't respect your girlfriend. And I was like, ew.
Oh no,
that's gross. Male TikTok sounds scary.
It was God. I was like, I do not want to look at the comments anymore.
No,
if you're not
I was just
protecting
getting
your
angry.
girl.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, yeah, but let's have that energy for like actual threats, not a magic show. Like, how about we take women seriously when they tell you that someone's watching them? Like, come on.
Or like she was up there doing it, like have the conversation afterwards with your partner. Like, why are you going to attack this guy, this random person? Like, that's so disgusting.
Yeah. So watch, now that we talked about it, you guys will probably see it on your TikTok, but
probably because they're watching.
I hope to never enter the ring of male TikTok. I see like male podcast TikToks often, but then it's always stitched by a woman, and I'm like, ooh, I almost had to scroll for a minute there.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll get those too, and I'm like, why is this on my For You page? And then it'll be a stitch, and I'm like, yes. Still on the right side.
I will say, not to totally bag on men, I have heard a few podcasts made by men that were not bad at all. It's just the Andrew Tate vibe for a lot of male podcasts. Ugh.
Icky.
I mean, who's the guy, This American Life? Ira Glass. I love that man.
Oh my God.
He's a beautiful man.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Well, you should.
This American Life is a great podcast, Nicole. It's like a storytelling podcast.
They had one season of a TV show, which I own on DVD. They tried to turn that podcast into a TV show, and it was kind of, I don't know, it must have worked, but they just did one season. It's a very good podcast. It's one of my favorites.
Is it like wholesome?
Yeah.
It's like storytelling, wholesome, emotional, like documentary kind of thing.
Yeah, Nicole, you would like it as a documentary person. I wouldn't say they're always wholesome. Like sometimes they're sad. But generally, I mean, you can like, there's like a few episodes, there's like episodes where they like, basically they have a topic and then they interview people surrounding that topic, like people with stories to tell. Like if it was about like school lunch, they'll have an interview story from like a lunch lady or, and then they'll have a kid. They'll like bring somebody to a lunchroom and they'll be like interviewing kids. It's just cute.
Oh, that's cool.
a similar podcast called Radio Lab, and one of the most like haunting episodes of that dealt with face blindness, and I'm pretty sure the episode was titled Love, and then they tell like 3 different stories about that topic. But I feel like I've told you guys this before, so I'm sorry, but maybe not the podcasters. It
sounds very familiar, but now you need to finish because I don't remember.
But they interviewed this couple who was no longer a couple, but they interviewed them separately. So like they were in like a whatever, and the man had face blindness, and they talked about how their relationship started, and they were in school together, and she thought he was flirting with her, and then he told his story of like how he had to act like he knew everyone every time he saw them because he didn't know if he actually knew them or not because he had face blindness, which is a real condition. So basically anybody with brown hair at a similar length he would think would be people he knew. So she thought he was flirting, but he wasn't. But then they ended up being together, and they talked about how like if they met in public, she had to describe a specific thing she was wearing so he would know that it was her kind of thing.
Wow.
And then their relationship eventually ended. And it wasn't like this big, like, oh, this is why it ended. But then she talked about how she would go and sit outside his work because he was like a waiter at this place that had a patio, and it would let her be able to see him and like feel comforted by seeing him, but he would never know she was there. And then it cut back to him because he must have listened to that part, and he was crying, and then I was crying, and it was just very like, ooh,
sad.
Yeah.
I've never heard of face blindness.
Yeah, it's a real thing. There's tests out there you can take just to see if you do have face blindness.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's really... I'm going to look into that episode. Maybe we should talk about the podcast we're listening to, because we admittedly just did a catch-up yesterday, so we were kind of thinking, like, let's do a themed catch-up today. And... like, Nicole, are you listening to any good podcasts right now?
Yeah, I really like Annie Elise. She does like true crime documentaries. I think I might have talked about her before. She's like my number one. So like I'll go to her first. Sometimes I'll watch the YouTube version, but sometimes I'll listen to, because she like records it as well for YouTube. I still enjoy Bailey Sarian's Dark History. She like touches base on like bad times in history that like, and what they meant, and like all this crazy stuff. I kind of fell off from listening to her though, just because I don't know, I just got kind of sick of it. And then I found Annie Elise, so I was like, okay, let me listen to this. But yeah, that's really it. I don't spend a ton of time listening to podcasts. I feel like if I'm doing work in the house, I'll have like the TV on instead of a podcast on. But I will listen to podcasts in my car, like if I have like a long drive or whatever. So that's usually when I put them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really it.
That's it for your podcasts?
Yeah.
I don't listen to them a ton either, but sometimes I kind of just save them up and then like power through when I have a drive or something, which I don't drive very often. But a couple of my favorites that I usually always go to: Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. I really love Armchair Expert. Yeah. And I love how he is able to interview people akin to like Call Her Daddy podcast.
Okay, Call Her Daddy. That's another one that I recently got into. Because she interviewed Kelsey Ballerini.
But yeah, like I feel like Call Her Daddy is a little more like punch like questions, whereas Dax Shepard is more like, let's just sit down, make you feel really comfortable, and then just like kind of get pretty vulnerable, which I like. Yeah. From celebrities seeing that different side. American Scandal is another one that I've been listening to because I listened to an episode on how Los Angeles stole water from like Northern California. And
you told us about that.
Day, that was insane.
Yeah. That's nuts.
And then there's another one called Infamous, which is just doing a series about the NXIVM cult. And I'm a little obsessed with the NXIVM thing. Like not obsessed. Like I watched the documentary The Vow on HBO. Yeah. And just like, I need to know more information. So that one is pretty good.
Is that like the Elizabeth thing? Elizabeth
Holmes?
Fane? No, what's the Nexium thing again?
Oh, that was the Keith Raniere like cult where the women were like had their own little fraternity inside the cult, and then they were branded with his initials, and it was like a sex sorority where he was like,
Oh,
There were some famous people that were involved with it.
yeah. I think what you're thinking of, Becca, is when we were together and we started watching that documentary, that Elizabethtown thing, right?
Oh,
no, I was thinking of that woman who like
Elizabeth
she
Holmes.
pretended to like,
The Blood.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
She like invented that thing. That's what I thought that you were referring to.
Yeah, no, that's a different. That one, I was obsessed with that one. That was a really good.
Okay, but can we talk about Elizabeth Holmes for just like a second?
Sure.
So she's supposed to be in jail for like 15 years, but she got pregnant again with like her second or third child.
Yeah. Totally
In
on
jail?
purpose.
No, but like during the trial. So then like delaying everything. But part of me is like, would you, I don't know. See, again, don't come for me because I'm literally just thinking out loud here, but I don't know if I would want to have a kid and then not see them for 15 years.
No, and that's that. I'm
They
sorry.
wouldn't even know who you are. Like their formative years, you're just not there. So I don't know how that's going to go.
She did that shit so that she could sympathize with the jury, or so that the jury would sympathize with her. I think she got pregnant on fucking purpose because, like you said, what mother is going to do that? Like, what mother is going to plan to have a kid knowing that you're going to go on this trial and then essentially spend time in jail? Like, I feel like she did it so she could be like, oh, I'm with child, like, let me off. I don't really have any sympathy for her at all, even though she expressed remorse.
I think we can tell
for the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
She's just not a good person. I think given the opportunity,
Also,
she would do all that shit again. Even knowing what she knows now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it was called Theranos, right?
Theranos. Yeah.
Okay, I kept wanting to call it Thanos. I'm like, but that's a Marvel character. Yeah, there's a woman I actually found on YouTube who shared her like traumatic experience being pregnant in prison, and like she gave birth while she was incarcerated. Oof. And that's how I found her, was that story like years ago, because I'm like fascinated by the prison system.
Yeah.
Not in a way where I think it's great. It's just I think it's horrible. And
I
anyway,
am too.
in that sort of a way. Yeah. So anyway, she was sharing her story, and like, you are not going to run when you're in labor, and they still had her like shackled to the bed. It's like,
oh my God.
She's not going to go anywhere. I don't know. It's all very dehumanizing. Her experience was horrible, and like she barely had any time to recover, and they put her back into like Gen Pop. It was just crazy.
That's insane. But I mean, playing devil's advocate with Elizabeth Holmes for a second, like it's hard for me to put myself in a position where I'm like, my family line has to continue, because I've never really been like that. Like my family personally has never had this strong, like, we have to continue the family name. I mean, and I'm gay, so I'm not like, out there having kids. But maybe just maybe she was like, oh, I need to like have kids, because then by the time she's out of prison, TikTok, she's not able to have kids probably.
Yeah. Okay.
And so maybe
That
that's
is
why
true.
she's just like pounding them out right now. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's a little bit of both, but also like, it just feels weird to me to have a child that you literally will have no hand in raising, nor will they know you. I don't know, but I guess
I really think she thought she was going to get off. I really think that her fucking crocodile ass tears, like to the jury, like they were going to sympathize with her. So I don't know. She's got like narcissistic.
But I guess she does have the husband, so maybe he wanted a kid. Like, okay, so
yeah,
whatever.
that could have been it too. That could have been it too. No, but that was like a huge topic, because a lot of the jury was interviewed, and some people from the jury were like, yeah, I didn't even acknowledge the fact that she was pregnant, because I think that was a ploy. If anything, her getting pregnant knowing she was going to be going on trial hurt her case more because people were thinking that she did it on purpose, which, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to woman bash, mother bash, nothing like that. She's just not a good person. And I wouldn't put it past her to do that, you know? Mm-hmm. Is she in jail yet, though?
I don't think so. No.
I think it's like April or something.
Yeah.
That's so scary. I can't imagine like knowing I'm going to have to spend all this time in jail and not be in jail yet. Like, what are you doing with your life right now? You know?
Right. And there's probably restrictions on travel. So it's like, what can you do, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is wild. Bringing it back to TikTok, one of my favorite types of TikToks. I saw this video of this woman. She was like, "Get ready with me to go to jail." It's just so funny.
Wait, I think I might have seen that one.
I followed her because I was like so curious. She's in Tucson and she's a stripper. But that's not why she went to jail. It was for something else. But it was just overnight. She like turned herself in. I think she got a DUI.
Oh, it wasn't the same thing then.
Okay, she had to stay the night. And yeah, she was like, get unready with me, or like get ready with me to go to jail. And like she was like talking about like whether or not she's gonna take out her hair extensions, like all these things. Like it was just like funny. And she was not that she was like, I'm not making fun of her. She was also like, I know that this is funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's multiple people on TikTok getting ready to go to jail, apparently. Because this other girl was like something for drugs, drug related. And she was hilarious. But sorry, go ahead, Adam.
Well, I was going to say Brandy TV, who you turned us on to, Becca.
Oh, she was in prison.
Oh my gosh.
She did like a series on YouTube about prison because she was in there for, it seems like a long time, like a pretty serious thing. I don't know what.
I think it was a couple years.
She even did like a makeup tutorial on like how she did makeup in prison, like using like an M&M to do eyeshadow and all of this stuff.
You got to watch it, Becca.
It was pretty funny.
Watch it on the plane.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, wait. You guys told me about this a while ago and I completely forgot.
Yeah, and she also did
so
like
I still haven't seen it.
She did like food, like how to make food in prison, and then like it was just this whole series.
Wow. The power of the internet, honestly, because you can enter jail and prison like so much more equipped because you have these people who are like sharing their stories.
Yeah.
And like, this is valuable information. Like if I was going in, I'd be looking this stuff up. Like, how can I like wear makeup, or how can I like
what to expect when you're locked up.
What to expect when you get your period in jail.
Oh man.
100%. Like this is relatable content. Like I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I am absolutely here for it. There's like, it's like a category of content. Like there's plant content, there's beauty content, and then there's like prison content. Mm-hmm. Like it is fascinating. Like my prison documentaries do not compare.
Do not.
It's also terrifying though. Like I have claustrophobia. So the thought of spending 23 hours in a cell, I can't even I can't even wrap my head around that.
Really?
It would be bad.
I think I would just sleep the whole time, honestly. Unless I'm forced to stay awake, I think I would honestly just sleep.
So you know what would be the toughest thing for me? Is pooping. Because you guys know, even in a house
you can't
where there's
poop.
like a door and I'm there with not random people, because obviously you guys are good friends. But I say still, like my body's like, nope, we're not doing this.
Yeah,
you
wouldn't.
Place.
You'd be very constipated.
Oh,
you might go septic.
Gosh.
Shit.
No, thank you.
But like what? Like I have a slight case of claustrophobia because like I could get on a plane, but if I think about it too much, I can't like think about it or I'll spiral. Found it out when I was in a haunted house with Tia a few years ago. Didn't like that. Never go back. But like, what if people have severe cases of claustrophobia and they have to go to jail? Like, you're fucking shit out of luck, right? Deal with it. Or do we think that they're giving them anxiety medication?
Oh, definitely not.
No.
There's no.
Oh my God, that's awful. Just thinking about it.
Yeah. Ooh, on that note,
Well, wait, Becca, what are your podcasts you're listening to?
Oh yeah.
well, I found this podcast recently. It's called Ologies, and it basically just goes, it's like a podcast where the host, I think her name is Allie, she goes over, like, it's like, because Ologies is like the studies of things. So, mythology or
Scientology.
I don't know. Scientology. Yeah. It's just stuff like that. So each episode has a different focus. And so I listened to, and I just recently found this podcast, but I listened to the dreams episodes. And I just really, really like the way that she structures the podcast, because it's an interview with an expert in that field. And you know, sometimes that content can feel like super elevated and like hard to understand, but she interjects a lot, like in editing, and clarifies things and kind of puts together a story. And it's just really, it's very well done. So that's
cool.
A new one that I found that I have been really enjoying. But let me look at my list. I think honestly,
she just released an episode called Chronobiology, Circadian Rhythms, Encore, plus, 2023 updates. Daylight savings time. Does it mess up your brain? What time should you go to bed? Are you sleeping enough? Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just like cool, interesting topics.
I love
like
stuff like
it's
that.
Definitely, let's say, educational. It's not like people chatting like us. But that's my most recent find. And then I found out that Josh Peck has a podcast, and he interviewed Hillary Duff. And I feel like I learned so much about Josh Peck, because Josh Peck has always been a person, in the world where I'm like, he seems like a really cool guy, but I didn't know anything about him. So listening to the podcast, I was like, wow, I really feel like I get this guy. And also Hillary Duff is such an angel. And it just like, it proved that she is like a child star that really did super well for herself. Like, she's very pure, but she did drop like an F-bomb or two. And I was like, wow, this is kind of funny to hear Hillary Duff say the F word. Anyway.
I don't know who Josh Peck is. Like, I'm looking at his photo.
Drake and Josh from TV show. He used to be kind of overweight.
Yeah, that was like peak TV for me. Like Nickelodeon. I was a big Nickelodeon person.
Sweet Life
Nickelodeon
of Zack and
Disney.
Cody. Well, I guess that was Disney.
Yeah, but I loved the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Did you guys see the interview that Call Her Daddy did with Cole Sprouse?
Oh my gosh, why? I gotta be honest. I do miss smoking cigarettes, but when I watched that podcast, I was like, ew. But sometimes like
so
when you're in
bad.
Europe, they make smoking look sexy.
They do.
In France,
You
I
wanna
was
do
like,
it.
yeah, I want to do it. But watching him smoke a cigarette, I was like, ew. No.
Yeah.
He smoked on the Call Her
It
Daddy
was
podcast.
Literally in the
Chain
studio.
smoking.
Oh my
He,
God.
lit up a cigarette. I was like, what in the world? Indoors?
Did she let
That's
him do it?
wild.
Like, she was like, go ahead.
I don't think I didn't watch or listen to the whole interview. I just saw clips.
Oh.
And he was literally smoking, and I didn't, in the clips, she wasn't like, put that out. So I don't know if she did
He
eventually.
was holding it weird too. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. No, Cole Sprouse gives me the ick, and he has for many years. Like, I watched a house tour, or I tried to watch a house tour of his, and he just reminded me of someone I went to college with who was like a total F-boy, but like like I was in the English department, okay? So like the type of F-boy that are in the English department are just a little different. They're like academic F-boys. They're not like frat F-boys.
It
And
reminds me of
this-
like
this
John
man-
Mayer.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Like, he thinks he's really smart. He is well read, which he probably is, but he's probably reading like Hemingway, and that's it. Like those types of authors. It's like, this is so cringe. Like, Hemingway's great, but why are you reading Hemingway outside of an academic? Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to judge people for reading Hemingway. Point is, he gives me the ick. So gross. Ew. Anyway. So that's my podcast.
Wait, so
Josh
Ologies-
Peck, who did not give me
Josh
the
Peck.
ick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't listened to other episodes from Josh, but like anytime I see on TikTok like a celebrity being interviewed, I'll like find the podcast episode, And there's been a few like Nickelodeon stars who have gone on podcasts, and I've listened to them, and it's honestly wild because it's like Jeanette McCurdy wrote her book, I'm Glad My Mom Died, and I've listened to that, and it was
I haven't finished
insanely
it yet.
good. And yeah, it's eye-opening and heartbreaking and funny sometimes. Like, it's just Jeanette. And so many Nickelodeon kids have such similar stories.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because of that guy, Rob Schneider. And it's just interesting how it's all coming out now. Like, it's good that they're all sharing their stories, but it's like, these are the shows that I watched as a kid and like loved.
Yeah.
Anyway, fascinating.
Dang. Okay. Well, lots of Josh Peck. It's so funny to watch. Like, he had a podcast called Curious with Josh Peck, and then a different podcast called Male Models, and then a different podcast called Good Guys. It's just like,
Yeah, it was Good Guys that I listened to. He does the podcast with his friend who is not famous, and I just find that's like a fun dynamic, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they talked a lot about being Jewish. I had no idea that Josh was Jewish, and Hillary Duff's husband is Jewish. So they just had like a lot of funny things to say. It was just an interesting podcast episode.
Gotcha.
If you ever have a chat with any business owner, you'll often find someone who is extremely passionate about their craft. So passionate, in fact, that they've decided to put their entire livelihood into it. And for me, it was my undying love for houseplants and education. A lot goes into creating videos and educational content behind the scenes. And honestly, the last thing that I wanted to add to my plate was my monthly accounting and my yearly taxes. Let's be honest, we didn't start our businesses so that we could also learn how to be an accountant and a tax expert in addition to everything else. Mod Ventures works with business owners and entrepreneurs across the country to organize, predict, and create their financial futures through modern tax and accounting services. Mod might be a good fit for you if you're looking to the future and excited to take your business to the next level. So whether that's expansion or diversifying your revenue streams, business acquisition, and so much more. Mod Ventures has been a virtual firm since 2014, which means that they have the whole work from home thing down to a science. And with their completely virtual and streamlined tax system, engagement letters, tax organizers, and tax return delivery done completely online through their client portal system, you never have to leave the comfort of your own home to take care of the business nitty-gritty. So if you're interested in reducing your stress this tax season and beyond, look no further than Mod Ventures. You can find more information about them in the show notes and also on their website, modventuresllc.com, or also on their Instagram, mod.ventures, where they regularly post tips and advice for business owners.
Houseplants that flower.
Houseplants that flower. Okay. So yeah, today we're going to chit chat about houseplants that flower. I feel like it's going to be a fun convo. I mean, flowers are so fun. And flowers on houseplants are not super common. So depending on the plant, I guess. But
yeah.
Anyway, what is your guys' favorite houseplant that flowers? Narrow it down. I know it's hard, especially when your collection flowers every day.
Like a specific plant or a genus?
A specific plant, because a genus, like, we all know.
Yeah, we all know what genus you're going to say.
Okay. Okay, well, my favoriteest flower thus far is probably my Hoya elliptica. The ones that looks like teeth before it opens. Like, it just looks like
wait, I have to look it up.
Molars. But that's
Hoya
before
elliptica?
It opens. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So before it pops open and the corona or the corolla reflex is back, it just looks like a bundle of molars. And then when it opens, it is also like really pretty, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so you like the creepy ones. I get it.
Yeah.
I like it because it looks like teeth. Maybe we can post some of these photos on stories so it's easy for you guys to access. Or you could just fucking Google it.
I'm trying to... Okay, I guess I'm trying to find a photo of Hoya elliptica not open yet, but I can see how this could look like a tooth when it's closed.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one and I will find it and I will send it to the group chat because we can post that. But yes, it's a very unique flower situation.
Yeah.
Okay, what does it smell like? and taste like?
It's, you know, the weird thing is I really do love the smell. It smells like unscented lotion. You know how unscented lotion has a scent? That's what it smells like.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually quite pleasant.
It is very pleasant. Yeah. So I really enjoy it. The taste, just the juice, just like nectar, you know, sweet.
Do all Hoya blooms taste sweet, or do some taste rancid?
No, they all taste sweet. But I think it's because it is nectar, you know, like, so nectar is just there to attract, you know, things.
Yeah.
So
Adam's tongue.
yeah, my tongue. But it is there to like bring in like the good pests or whatever. So that's, I think, you know, it's always going to taste sweet.
I don't know why my brain went to San Diego and us licking spoons. Licking baby spoons. I don't know why my brain went there.
Licking those
the
rancid,
baby
spicy baby spoons.
If you know, you know.
Well, I mostly have aroids. I do have some Hoya that have bloomed. My favorite Hoya bloom is definitely the Carnosa out of the ones that I've had bloom. But I've had, well, yeah, I don't need to go down the list. But yeah, that one's my favorite. It's always very beautiful. It's like a full round pink. It's just so pretty. So that's definitely my favorite. And it smells like chocolate, which is so good. It smells like Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, it does smell exactly like Tootsie Rolls.
I really enjoy that one. But as far as other plants go, I've had aroids bloom a lot. Like, and aroid blooms are not really very cool. They're not really much to write home about, to be honest. But it is cool when it happens because you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, someone's happy. Yeah. Like, someone's happy to see me.
Hello.
I know. That's how I feel whenever I saw like an aroid bloom too. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm doing a good job. Pat on the back.
Yeah. I will say anthurium bloom a lot.
Oh, yes.
And which is cool because it's easy to collect the pollen and cross-pollinate and like make babies. I'm in the process of doing that right now.
Brown cow.
Exactly.
You are in the process of making a baby.
You are making a baby.
I'm also in the process of making a baby. They're just really cool. And I've not fertilized. Is it fertilized? No.
Pollinated?
What is it? Pollinated, yeah. I have pollinated an anthurium bloom with its own pollen and, well, different blooms, but...
Is that called masturbation?
She is asexual. She had an asexual situation.
I'm self-pollinating.
Good for her. But anthurium flowers are male and female flowers at the same time, which is really nice. Well, not at the same time, but like in the sequence of the bloom. So first you're going to get the male, I guess, the pollen, and I've just tapped it into a little cup and then I freeze it, and then a few days later it'll have the little bloops of nectar, and then you can pollinate, do little plant eggs, and then a few days
Just
later she'll start getting plump
all over the nectar.
Exactly. Yeah. So
that's
my
crazy.
Anthurium clarinervium, the bloom is like super lumpy. I can see clearly like where the berries are gonna come out.
Is this in a video
it's really
somewhere?
Cool.
Well, yeah.
I've shown it like through my plant chores videos like over time, but never like
doing,
I've never, it's such a long process. So I haven't had a video, but I think, when I do get the berries and I eventually get the plant, I will probably go back through my footage and like take it and make a video. I think that would be fun. But yeah.
That's cool.
I wonder if they taste like pomegranate seeds because they look like pomegranate seeds.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah, you have to kind of like squeeze the berry and then the seed is in the center. I'm so excited to see because this plant makes really beautiful like big leaves. Yes. I mean, not that the babies are going to, I don't know. It's a strong plant. I thought she'd be great for being a mother.
Yeah. She got some wide hips.
She's got those wide birthing hips.
Oh, gosh. You know, I have really wanted to pollinate a Hoya. And it's really difficult and it's infuriating because you buy all the equipment and you're just sitting here thinking like a fucking moth could just fly around and land on a flower and pollinate it, but I can't do it when I'm physically trying to do it.
So what equipment?
Like microscopes and magnifying and
because they're so tiny.
needles and yeah. But I have started entering the anthurium area thanks to Equihenida. And I have flowers. Like my magnificum now has a flower spike that just started because anthurium do. Because I had I still have a luxurians X radicans from I've Killed That Steve, and that thing flowers all the time, and I cut the flower off because it only has like 1 or 2 leaves, and I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to put energy into this flower. Like, give me some more foliage.
Yeah.
But my magnificum now has a flower, and I'm like, okay, I'm excited to try to make a cross or even just pollinate and get like seeds and grow from seed, you know? That's what I want.
Absolutely.
That'd be crazy.
But you're right that they said some anthurium could take like years to like go from pollination to producing seed. Like it's just like it's all different.
I think Amanda Ray Wright did it, and I think she said it took like 10 months or something for the berries to ripen to the point where they're ready. And even then, like some of them won't have a viable seed, so it's like you wait so long.
Dang.
That's wild. So that flower is just stays there that long, huh?
Uh-huh. And you know what? It's flowered again since that one, and I've cut them off, but there's one that I kept because I'm going to try to collect the pollen off of it. Well, try. It's really easy. So I'm going to collect the pollen off of it, and then I'm going to cut it off because I really want the plant to focus on the flower. But I'll say if you're going to do this, somebody commented on my YouTube video saying this, and I was like, that makes so much sense. But I was saying how the newest leaf that came out is really small compared to how they have been. And in my mind, I was like, oh, something's going wrong with the plant. It's outgrowing the pot. But then they were like, it's probably just because the plant is focusing on the flower. So like, don't worry. Like the leaves are probably going to come out kind of small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, that is something to consider. If you're going to do it, the leaves might be a little shrimpy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Oh, Nicole, we never really talked about your favorite flower.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking Hoya, I feel like my Hoya Rebecca is my favorite. I just really like the fuzziness of the Hoya Rebecca flower. It's so cute. And that plant, like as small as that plant is, because it's not very mature yet, it has flowered quite a bit for me already. So she's like a reward.
It's like a reward.
But
what do those smell like?
I don't think it smells much of anything really. The Hoya Rebecca.
I do. I think it's very like similar to Lacanosa, but like gardenia kind of smell, I think.
Oh, okay. Flower, like floral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's floral.
But then again, my sense of smell is not the greatest. Jay will tell me all the time, like, you don't smell that. And I'll be like, no, what? The dogs
like,
need a
"Your
fucking
Don't
bath.
smell that.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about some cactus blooms because I get a good share of cactus blooms, especially in the summer. But one of our favorites is the Christmas cactus, the Schlumberger. Schlumbergera. That one flowers. There's like this whole thing about like some people that just can't get it to flower. And I remember when I had one before, I can't remember who it was that told me this, but they're like, just put it in a dark closet, stress it the fuck out, and it'll just pop out flowers. It never worked for me, but it's worked for a lot of people. So
mine just flowered again, like just this week.
Really?
I think it's because they're very sensitive to temperature drops, and that's what causes the flowers. And so usually around Thanksgiving and Christmas, they flower.
Yeah.
And we had like a cold spell in Arizona for the like when we were gone on vacation. So I think that's what forced it to flower again.
Is yours big?
That's exciting.
It's, decent size. I think it's in like a 6-inch pot.
So that's like one of your 4 desert plants that you own, right? Inside?
Wow. Feeling called out. But yes.
Sorry, I didn't know if maybe that was a 5th. I was just trying to up your desert cactus collection.
So that's one of your 4 desert plants that you have in the desert.
We talked about this. If we take over each other's collection, up in your desert game. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, what did you want to say about the cactus flowers, though?
Well, it's a euphorbia. The euphorbia crown of thorns.
Thorns. Ooh, I love that plant.
Yeah, those flowers are cool because they're kind of got like a little waxy feel to them. But mine only flowers when it's outside, and it's only done it once for me. And I mean, they don't smell like much of anything, but they're really pretty. They're cool. Mammillaria, like all mammillaria flower, and they get like decent sized flowers too.
Yeah. My stack of dicks the bottle brush or whatever from our first collab is flowering outside right now.
Are they just gigantic?
No, they're not, but it's just like a ring around the top, like a ring of hot pink flowers around the top. And when I posted it like a few years ago, someone commented on the story and they were like, girl from Coachella who asks if you have cocaine. And I was like, yes, that is exactly the vibe that it gives because it's like a flower crown.
Yes.
But yeah, that's cute. I love it.
Yeah. Those are so cool. Mine flower all the time outside, so I can only imagine what yours looks like. But also like prickly pear. When prickly pear flower, those are beautiful too. And they're like all different kinds. I'm just getting so excited to bring my cactus back outside.
Truly. Well, the euphorbia, like when they put out those leaves, are those considered blooms or are those just leaves?
No, it's just foliage, I think.
Okay.
Like you're talking about like the little ones like up like on top like yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are so cool, but my the dragon bone one, the white one, it doesn't really put out those. They're like really tiny, at least for me. But like when I had like the red euphorbia, it would put out those like leaves, or even the green one it would, but the white one it doesn't do it. Do you have one of those?
You're talking about the euphorbia, the trigona one,
the white ghost.
Yeah, I don't have
the one that just like looks like a stick.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. I have a red one, like a red and green one, and it's under a grow light downstairs. It's huge. It's probably my tallest euphorbia. And it never lost its leaves. But before I had it under a grow light, like when I would bring it inside for the winter, it would lose all of its leaves. And then it would come back in the summer. The same thing happens to my Madagascar palm. Like it loses all of its little palm foliage over the winter. And then it comes back in the summer.
I feel like aside from crown of thorns, which is a euphorbia, the other euphorbias, Becca, their flowers are very like tiny, like the obesas that we all had. You know how those flowers came out and they were very like I think that's how the rest of them look.
Yeah,
I've never seen it on anything other than the obesa though. Like none of my other euphorbia have ever flowered. Yeah,
and the euphorbia, like the crown of thorns, like the colorful part, like it's actually just like a bract, and like the inner white flower is the flower, like similar to the bougainvillea.
Yeah.
Which is just so interesting to me because like the whole thing is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all a flower.
Yeah.
Those are fun. And okay, I was in the bathroom when you guys were talking about the flower crowns, but I love those too. And they're always like beautiful, like hot pink or
Yeah.
yellow. They're so pretty.
Yes, they are.
Cactus flowers are so vibrant.
They are. And it blows my mind. Like, I'll still get a handful of people text me and be like, I never even knew cactus flowered. You know, because if you're not, if you've never been to the desert and saw them like in the wild, you really wouldn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
But also,
They're beautiful.
like hen and chicks, succulents, they flower so pretty too. Like they'll like shoot up a whole stem of flowers.
Yeah. Yeah. What about like, have you guys ever dabbled in like African violets? And I think there's another in
Gapersha?
like, what is it? Like Strepocarpa or something like that.
Streptocarpus or something. Yeah.
What is the name?
Streptocarpus. I don't know, but you're it's very similar. I don't know that. But yes, I have for a hot second tried those, but they did not enjoy the desert.
You had an African violet?
Yeah, I had a bunch.
Really?
Yeah, because AVs seem like that's like another thing that you can really kind of get obsessed with, like me and Hoya, but also like cross-pollinate and create hybrids and that kind of stuff.
What about orchids? Like, do jewel orchids flower?
Yeah.
Weren't you going to do something with jewel orchids in like a container? Sorry, this is another tossing you under the bus, but
Jesus, Nicole.
I'm really sorry.
Get off my
Listen,
ass.
you get
I
me
was.
excited. You get me excited about these videos, and then you strip away my joy, and you never do them.
I know. Yeah.
We're waiting with bated breath every time you mention a video idea.
I did buy like this really beautiful glass orb terrarium type thing from Australia, and it has sat empty since it's arrived. But my plan was to put a bunch of like jewel orchids in there, but then I just kind of got confused in like how I could do it because the bowl is shallow, you know, so it seems like they would probably have to just sit in there potted. And anyway, I gave up on it because my jewel orchid died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about
Sounds
Hoya? Like a Hoya, like planting like a tiny leafed Hoya in there and like seeing how it would do, like terrarium style.
Yeah, my serpens is in a pot, but it's in like a Wardian case type thing, and it's like living its best life. So I could probably do that in that big one. Yeah,
That would be really cool.
I have been wanting to try an orchid.
You just put 2 ice cubes in it a week, and that's it.
Hey, look, Becca's neighbor is thriving with an orchid, and that's
Sure
the method.
is. Sure is.
And that's exactly what she does. I am floored. And I did it for a couple months and it lived. And I have not had good luck with orchids until that. I'm just saying.
Oh man,
I might have been converted, honestly. But yeah, there's so many cool orchids out there though. Like obviously we know like about the Phalaenopsis, but there's like other ones. They look like spiders almost.
yes.
Like you know that garden spider that's really common in the Midwest that's like huge and it has like black and yellow on its back. It's
the
really
garden
pretty.
orb, I think it's called.
Yeah. That's what some orchids remind me of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry
And-
for anyone who doesn't like spiders.
And then there's like miniature ones too, like tiny
Yeah.
orchids that like you barely can even see foliage, and then you get this like really pretty tiny little flower. Ugh.
Yeah, they
So
are
cute.
really
beautiful.
cool. Yeah. Oh, begonia flowers.
Oh,
That's another big one.
begonias.
When I have 4 begonia, and Begonia lucerna is the only one that's ever bloomed for me, and it has not bloomed since I moved to Missouri. But when I was in Arizona, it loved the heat like a lot. It loved it out there. It hasn't been the same since I moved here. Like it's alive, but it's definitely not what it was. And it had the most beautiful pink flowers, like dark pink flowers, and it's just so beautiful. Like begonia flowers are so underrated, I think. Begonia in general are underrated. Cane begonia. I don't really like Rex or any other types, but
Yeah.
I feel like cane begonia are so underrated in the plant community. They're so cool.
They are
Yeah.
very beautiful. I remember when my maculata, I had that like a long time ago, and it put out a bloom, and I was like flabbergasted, and I was also really excited. Like Go me. I bloomed Immaculata, but
Yeah.
it's dead now.
I feel like they're even like easy to make bloom too. So it's like aroids will bloom maybe once a year sometimes. And then Hoya, I don't know. So many people do not get blooms on their Hoya, like myself. I've only have a handful that have. But like my begonia was flowering without me even really trying at all. I just, I don't know what it was, but it feels like an achievable bloom.
That's right.
I don't know.
We need to get you a
Yeah.
lacanosa so you can get that. Those bloom so easy. Do you have a lacanosa?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Which I'm surprised that I don't. But I am wanting to get some Hoya to put on my wall because they're more drought tolerant than other aroid than aroids. So
remember that list you were
I
making for my Instagram? Just send it to me, okay?
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I still haven't sent you that. I'm embarrassed.
Are you mainly looking for trailers because it's on the wall, like you want it to dangle? Probably.
Ooh,
Yeah.
love a good
Yeah.
A little
dangle.
dingle dangle. But I'm thinking
Don't we all, Nicole?
yeah, so with the big greenhouse, I'm going to put a lot of my Anthurium out there so that they can have space, because right now they're all crammed into the greenhouse cabinet. So I'm thinking with my greenhouse cabinet, I kind of want it to be like a Hoya enclosure. So I want to do other Hoyas too that, you know what I mean? Like not just because out on my wall, I kind of want to have more basic Hoya. So if in the event it died, or just more drought tolerant, like the Carnosas, the Wayettii,
Yeah.
the basic bitches of the Hoya family. We love them. I love them. My collection is very basic, but yeah, like kind of venturing into like the gray Hoyas and like the cool ones. And I could do them in an enclosed space with that light. I think they'd like it.
Yeah.
Like this silver lacanosa. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, like just box it up.
Oh my gosh.
take it.
I'll take it.
Box it up. Take that one.
Box it up.
Yeah. I'll make a little, because I kind of want, like, I'll go through and look at the trailers, because I have like a variegated Wayettii and that kind of stuff that I put above my shower, and it looks like it's just thriving up there. And yeah, I'll make you a little,
they're fun.
a trailing Hoya package. But let me also send me the list.
I will send you the list. I will. It's just embarrassing.
I'm telling you to send me the
But
list.
I wouldn't care if you did that to me, but for some reason me doing it to someone else, I'm like, I'm scared.
Dork. What's a plant that you want to flower, that you hope to see flower eventually?
Oh.
I feel like my Hoya obovata has tried to flower so many times and it just hasn't worked out, because it'll make the little nub
Yeah.
and then nothing happens.
Mine does that too.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Like I really want that plant to get more TLC. I think I'm going to move it out to the big greenhouse when that's done, because it just is not getting light and it's too big for the wall. And I need her to be in a better situation. I feel like once that happens, she will grow. But it's been a rough couple of years living in this house for her, I'm going to be honest. So I really want to see her thrive and flower. Because I think the obovata, is it like a white flower with a pink center? It's like really pretty.
Yeah, it's like almost like a deep maroon, but they are messy AF. Like they are drippy. Like
Mine's
Sappy.
flowered a couple times, and like it was a pretty decent ball of flowers, and it got all over my shelf.
yeah.
That one's a pretty one though.
She's drippy.
Drippy.
She's thirsty, looking for that moth.
Does the
Moth daddy.
I know. Where's my moth daddy? I'm just going to stop right. I'm not even going to.
Oh, we're sexualizing our plants.
It is called a sexual process. I mean,
Yeah.
'Tis. Does the Hoya villosa flower? Do all Hoyas flower?
Yes. I think all plants flower, right? Or don't come
That
for
would
me. I'm not
be-
a botanist.
That would be one I would love to see flower because, I mean, let's just Google it. What does a Hoya villosa bloom look like?
It's probably like all the other
It is.
Hoya, just very star-shaped.
Star-shaped white, pink
Oh my
center.
God, but look at those corona lobes, which are corona. The inside, like the little star, the little tiny star. They're
Yeah,
like
they have so
perfectly
much-
round.
They have so much detail. It's almost scary. Like it looks fake.
I know. I just love them so much.
They are really cool.
Any hoodle. I do love these kind of Hoya blooms, but there are blooms that I want to see from a Hoya, and that's what I'm like wanting to manifest in 2023 is to get a Hoya with like a very unique bloom, like the Hoya campanulata. If you look at that bloom, just Hoya campanulata. Sorry. Yeah, Hoya campanulata. Like they just have such a unique bloom. And like it's like a little napkin. I want to see something like a huge bloom like that. I want a Hoya to bloom
That's
like that.
cool. That one looks like molars. Oh wait, no, that's my. Oh yeah, that one looks like molars before it opens.
What is it called?
It does. Hoya campanulata.
That is cool.
Oh, that's
They're just-
cool. That's
they're so
different.
So that's what I'm hoping for this year. I'm hoping
They're like
for
little
like
discs.
a unique type of Hoya bloom. Because there's some that are like the size of like, mini apples or something,
Yeah, they look really big.
Adam, I'll have you know, I just looked up unique Hoya bloom, and your video, 5 Hoyas that flower constantly, came up.
Look at that.
SEO.
That SEO doing its
Nice
thing.
I sometimes get mad
Nice
when
job.
I see that thumbnail because I'm like, oh, I was so skinny. That was BC. That was before COVID.
BC. Oh.
BC.
My Hoya pubicalyx bloomed recently, and the deep purple of those flowers is so pretty.
Why did you not post a photo?
yeah.
I don't know. It really
What the
wasn't
fuck
that.
are you doing?
It really wasn't that impressive.
Just kidding.
It really wasn't that impressive. It had like 4 flowers on it. It was one of those like not a full.
Still.
Yeah. Okay, I guess.
Did you take any photos or did you just like?
I think so. I'll go through my camera roll. I think I did.
Yeah, I want to see them because I don't think I've never had a
gotta see.
pupa calyx bloom.
They're like
me.
super deep purple. It's really cool.
Oh, I love purple.
But I was kind of bummed because, I didn't even notice the peduncle for starters. And I saw it and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I was like, oh my gosh. But it was only like, they were like sporadic, like 3 or 4 like little flowers, and then they fell off like 2 days later,
Yeah.
But they were pretty. I was like, give me a ball of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. My Calistophylla has bloomed so many times. It's a constant bloomer. It does not put out new leaves. It's put out 1 new leaf since I've had that plant. I've had it for 3 years probably. It will not stop blooming though. I'm like, come on.
Sprayed it down like big time
Yeah.
with the water? Okay.
Yeah. I definitely could do it more. But
Yeah.
like it just is not putting out new leaves. And that's a plant that the foliage is cool.
It is.
Like, the flowers they're different than the carnosa, so it was interesting, but they don't have like a particularly unique smell. They just smell floral.
yeah.
So, well, you know what? Here's my description. They smell like a flower that has been in a Ziploc bag. Like, you open the Ziploc bag and it smells kind of plasticky floral.
Yeah, I kind of get like a musty, like citrusy kind of smell with like Finlaysonii, which is similar to the Calistophylla flower. It's just like a weird. You're right. It's like a mix of like that doesn't smell great, but also I can see that it could smell great parts of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And thankfully, it's not very strong. Like, it won't smell up my entire room like the Carnosa flowers. You smell that from far away.
Yeah.
I can't find a photo. I guess I didn't take a photo of it.
Then it didn't happen. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Next
it's
time.
Okay. Next time.
Next time.
Next time.
Maybe this time. For the first
All right, guys.
time.
Well,
Sorry.
oh, sorry to interrupt your moment.
Time in forever.
Time after time.
Well, I
Look
feel
at
like we
us.
just did that. I feel like we just did that Pitch Perfect thing where they have to like use the last word of the whatever song
Oh,
and then
the
start a
riff
new
off?
song. Yeah.
That is actually so hard to do.
My
Have
brain
you
does
ever done
not
it?
work that fast
yeah.
at all.
No.
It's, yeah, because you have to know the lyrics of the song that they're singing and be able to anticipate and then also think about a new lyric. Like, I've done it before. It's hard.
Yeah. Oof.
Anyway, well, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Potted Together. We just love getting to chit chat with you guys. So if you enjoyed this, make sure that you are subscribed to our podcast so that you get a little notification when we, put out a new episode. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, we will be posting photos of a bunch of really beautiful flowers today. So that's Potted Together. Very simple. And then if you want to see like our individual collections, Adam is usually posting, like Adam's entire feed is Hoya blooms.
Yeah.
I just posted
Literally.
one yesterday, a mutant bloom, and it's so cute.
Ooh, cool.
You should look at it.
So-
It gives boucle vibes.
That's set up
Okay,
that you
that's
had
fun.
it on.
Yeah. Sorry.
Beautiful. Well, Adam's Instagram is not dude, KNOT dude. And then Nicole is My Clean Leaves. I am De La Plants. And if I do get a Hoya bloom, I definitely take a photo and post it. So
And I don't.
except the Callistophylla. It did put out a triple bloom and I meant to take a photo, but I just was enjoying it. And I'm
And
like,
then it
I've
was
seen this
gone.
plant bloom so many times. It's just not that exciting anymore. Ugh, I'm a brat. Like, people are like begging for their Hoya to bloom. I'm begging for some of my Hoya to bloom. And like the same ones are the blooming over and over again. And I'm like, come on, let's get some variety. Anyway.
Oh.
So if you have any flowering houseplants, we'd love to hear about it in the comments of our post today, or you can send us a picture in DMs and we'll post it on our stories, because I think that houseplant blooms are super fun, whatever they are, an aroid or a Hoya or an orchid or an African violet. If you're an African violet wizard,
Yeah.
we commend you, because I can't do it.
Bravo.
So yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening and we will chat with you next time.
Bye.
Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.